Pretty terrifying sounding numbers there, but how significant is this?
Thanks for having me on, Rich. So listen, I think it's really important to zoom out and always look at the bigger picture. How significant is it? Well, we have just had a 2-year bull market. So it's very normal and very natural to start to see things to start and cool off. During that bull market, we saw central banks print unprecedented amounts of money. People were putting that money, putting their stimulus checks in the US and the equivalent in the UK into Bitcoin, helping prop up the market. We're now seeing unprecedented levels of inflation, 40-year high. So people simply don't have that surplus cash to put into Bitcoin and all these other alternative asset classes. Central banks are starting to take inflation seriously. And as a result, we're seeing quantitative tightening. So interest rates are going up. And so people, again, don't have that surplus cash, unfortunately, anymore. They don't want to be defaulting on their mortgages. They need that liquid cash. So in terms of how significant is it, it's not that significant for me, in my opinion. This is very normal. Bitcoin is still a very immature asset. This is still a very new market. We also have to consider the geopolitical situation. We just had 2-year lockdowns. We're seeing supply chain issues, a war going on between Russia and Ukraine. You mentioned that earlier on your news program. And so markets don't like wars. Bitcoin is still supposed to be considered that risk-on asset. So naturally, people will start to sell their riskiest assets during these times.
You mentioned central banks, investments, inflation. One of the selling points of cryptocurrencies is that it's decentralized. It's kind of insulated somewhat from the decisions that these organizations in individual countries make. Talk us through some of the other factors that have had an impact in the cryptocurrency price drop.
Well, everything that I've just mentioned is clearly going to instill a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So naturally, the price is going to fall more. However, we are starting to see some interesting black swan events. So we're seeing major liquidations. Three Arrows Capital, for example, they are a crypto hedge fund. So they had $200 million worth of Ether coins, which is the second biggest crypto by market cap, totally liquidated, wiped off the market. We're seeing other major reputable crypto custodians that people really trust and have their life savings on these exchanges, on these custodians like Celsius Network, start to approach their liquidation price. And so if they are liquidated, and we do see this happen, people's life savings are going to be wiped off the market. There was also a major event that happened, which totally destabilized the market a couple of weeks ago. This was with Terra Luna. So without getting too complicated, this was a supposed stable coin pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar. It lost its peg. People were getting 20% interest, which was supposed to be risk-free, supposedly. A lot of major reputable people were promoting this as risk-free. People had their life savings earning 20% interest, and this depegged, and people lost millions and millions of dollars. Hence, the reason why the market is getting lower and lower.